the wild winds call. Jasper's walking, taking pictures of it all. Boots on the ground, heart in the sky, following the blazes, just a rambling guy. Through the valleys, over the hills, chasing that freedom, feeling the thrill. With every sunrise, he's finding his way, living the dream, one step a day. Trail named Jasper, walking on through Bruce Trail, bound with a camera view, hiking the ridges, chasing the light. Like and subscribe.
Good morning, everybody. Jasper here. Welcome to Friday the 8th of August. Yes, it is. So today we find ourselves once again on our home trail, the Bruce Trail here in Ontario. Blueberries. We are on a side trail from a parking area, a Bruce Trail authorized parking area, off-road parking area, which I like those a lot. It's a day hike. It's about 21 kilometers. We have a full trail pack, probably coming in around 35-40 pounds. The training continues, but you know what? It's just a beautiful day. It's just a beautiful day to be out on trail. It really is. And yeah, why not take you guys along with me? Because again, it's just perfect right now. We may get some rain later, which we desperately need, to be honest. We haven't had much rain at all. We had a sprinkle a couple of days ago, but that was nothing. We've had no rain here for 3 weeks or more. So we desperately need some rain. Okay, let's get into hiking. Now, luckily for me, the first kilometer was a lot of cobwebs, but I just got passed by. We just went past the trailhead, and there was a gentleman, younger gentleman, starting out with his dog and a mug of coffee in his hand. So I don't know how far he's going, but since he passed me by, guess what? No cobwebs. I love those hikers that have gone down the trail before me, cleaned up all the cobwebs. That's nice. Today, hey, take a look at this. Yep, those are my brand new although I purchased them like 2 years ago. But they're brand new Ultra Lone Peak 5.0s. So that's the newest pair of Lone Peaks that I have. I think the edition now, or the model, is up to like 9.0. But anyhow, the 5.0 is the newest edition I have. And these are the shoes that I'm going to be wearing on our next upcoming through hike, which, as you all know from my announcement video, is going to start very soon this month. And we're doing, well, in fact, today's Friday, the 8th. A week on Saturday, the 18th, I guess it is, I think, I traveled to Cornwall, Ontario in the car with Joanne, and she's going to be staying there for the duration of my hike, visiting her family. The next morning, which will be a Sunday, the 19th, I believe, of August, I will train from Cornwall to Kingston, which I did exactly the same last year at pretty much the same time. And at around 10:30 a.m. On the Sunday, again, I believe it's the 19th of August, I will set off from the Kingston downtown waterfront, heading northbound to Ottawa to complete or attempt a second through hike of the Rideau Trail. So I am looking forward to that. Now, at that time period, we just talked about rain. At that time period, in that area, we're going to be surrounded by rain, thunderstorms, and all kinds of unsettled weather. In between moments of sunshine. It's going to be warm to hot for sure. Upper 20s, low 30s Celsius. So, pretty much like it was last year when we did it. Anyhow, so that is coming up. And today, I'm just seating in. I don't call it breaking in, because with an Ultra footwear, you don't break them in. They simply don't require it. They're just ready to go right out of the box. But what I do like to do is seat them in. I like to wear them for whatever amount of miles, a few day hikes, whatever. Seat in the sole to my foot, stretch the uppers a little bit with the laces, and just get them accustomed to doing what they're going to be doing. Yeah, so that is one of the things I am doing today. Just seating in my brand new, albeit 2-year-old, but brand new Ultra Lone Peak 5.0s. My and many others' footwear of choice for through hiking. Oh yeah. And it's really strange. I know we've talked about it a lot, but I still see the comments all the time. Although I am seeing more and more comments where people have finally seen the light and switched to a particular trail runner of their choice. But I'm still seeing lots of people wearing huge hiking boots, saying, I need the support, and they're wonderful, and there's nothing better, and they're perfect, yet they can barely walk. They're coming off trail because their feet are all chopped up. Yeah. Now, again, that's on trails that are going to last for more than a day. Day hiking, you know what? Wear your boots, they're fine. Okay, let's just keep logging miles, shall we? Because again, right now it's just absolutely gorgeous. Look at this trail ahead of me. Absolutely gorgeous. A beautiful view. Just through a little break in the trees. Wheat field, golden. Changing shades of gray in the sky. And then the green, the dark green of the trees in the midground. Wow. That's a beautiful little view. The Bruce Trail is full of these just, I don't know, intimate vistas, let's call it an intimate vista. Certainly not the Rocky Mountains. It's not the Smokies. but it's got some amazing intimate type views. Anyhow, the hike is going well. I feel good this morning. Yesterday was a procedure day for my eyes. You may know, I've mentioned a few times, I have trouble with my eyes. So yesterday I had to have work done, which I do right now. Oh, I did just hit a cobweb. I don't know what happened to that fella that went ahead of me. Maybe he's shorter, I don't know. Anyhow, so yesterday, that was the procedure. Yesterday is the injection in the left eye to help the retinal occlusion. And also, in addition to my issues of the retinal occlusion in the left eye, the torn in several places retina in the right eye. 2 weeks ago I went for a glaucoma run-up, the doctor called it, and I definitely have. Is it called glaucoma or glaucoma? Anyhow, I have it. So I now have a prescription of drops, which he says I'll be taking for, well, it's got 24 repeats, he says, so you can see you're going to be taking this for a while. And I dropped that off yesterday at the pharmacy in Beaufort. I'll pick that up today after my hike as I head back to my summer home. Yeah. Oh boy. You know, do not put off things that you want to do, because well, when I was a younger man, I didn't really give a damn about anything, and in a lot of respects I still don't, but you do more as you get older. You worry more and things happen, you know. My retinal occlusion in my left eye, well, that's a stroke that happens in a left eye or in an eye rather than in the brain. So I am on blood thinners also for that. Now the glaucoma. I don't think, I googled that and it said there really isn't a cure for glaucoma. We just try to manage it. But I think ultimately it, you know, it's just going to deteriorate the vision over whatever period of time, hopefully longer than shorter. So yeah, you just don't know when you're not going to be able to do the things you A, took for granted, and B, love to do. Yeah, look at this forest, man. It's absolutely gorgeous in here. Now this is the first hike I've done since we did the 2-day one-night wild camp at the Metcalf Rock, which, I don't know, we finished that about a week ago. That particular hike, I was like 60 kilometers over 2 days. It was hot in the 30s, 32, 33 degrees Celsius, humid. And it actually beat the hell out of me. It was a very challenging hike, was that 60k. But thoroughly enjoyed it, of course. And of course the wild camp was great. But I also love to lay down miles on my bike. Now I have it's a KHS Flight 280. And it's essentially a dual purpose bike. It's a road bike and a gravel bike, basically combined into one, gearing and frame wise and so on. And you simply change tires for what you want to do. So right now I had been running 28 mil road tires, which is probably the widest road tire you kind of get. You can get a lot thinner than that for roads. And I just recently switched to a 32 centimeter gravel tire, which is probably the narrowest of the gravel tires, if you will. But it's a little more aggressive, gives me just a little bit more control on the back gravel roads and the crushed rock rail trails and so on. and yet doesn't overly impede any speed I may have had from using a road tire. It is slightly slower than what it was, but not much noticeable. So I've been laying down miles on that. In fact, the day before yesterday, I did a 110 kilometer ride. Now, it's 6 months almost to the day since my hip replacement, and the first 2 rides of this year were very painful on the hip. After I was doing about 80 kilometer rides, and both times I did that, the first time I did it, after about 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers, it felt like my hip was just going to come right through the side of my leg. So I kind of backed off for a couple of months. I just started again a couple of weeks ago, and since then I've got several good long rides in, again ranging between 80 to 110 kilometers, and my hip is feeling much better now. I seem to be able to do those without any major side effects other than riding 110 kilometers on your gravel bike. So I've been doing that quite a bit, and of course still going to the gym. Obviously you can't do everything in one day, so for instance today is a hiking day. It's not a bike riding day or a gym day, it's a full hiking day. But it's all part of the continuous training to be able to through hike with a full pack and lay down literally hundreds of miles day after day, week after week, and so on a through hike. Maybe you can see the ominous gray building, the Cumulus building. So I think we are going to run into rain today. Look at those rolling hills. Wow, isn't that beautiful? Absolutely stunning. First break of the day. Coffee and Mars bar. And as we said on one of our coast to coast trails videos, a Mars a day helps you work, rest and play. And I'm gonna have that with some coffee. Yeah. There's a nice breeze, and that's really helping, because it is muggy. But the breeze helping. Okay. Denise, I would like to give a big shout out to Denise. Denise is the newest and latest contributor to our channel in the Buy Me a Coffee program. So again, thank you so much, Denise, for your contribution. It goes a long way to help build our channel. So yeah, thank you, Denise, for that. And secondly, if anyone else would like to contribute to the channel on our Buy Me a Coffee program, simply email or e-transfer your gift to trailnamejasper@gmail.com. trailnamejasper@gmail.com. Again, any contributions, a toonie, a loony, it all adds up and it all helps. It all goes a long way in building the channel. Yeah, and again, thank you so much, Denise, for your contribution. Okay, so I'm gonna have my coffee and my bar, and then we're just gonna keep pushing. I think the next break area might be at the Ambrose overnight rest area. We'll see. We're gonna pass it a ways down the trail, probably a couple hours from here. Yeah, that's fine. As I'm walking along, and falling down almost, tripping over rocks, I realized I gave out the wrong dates for the start of the Rideau Trail, because it has changed 2 or 3 different times. But I travel on the Saturday, which I believe is the 16th of August, and I go on trail on the Sunday, the 17th of August. And it's a later start, I believe, simply because the trains run later on Sunday. And I said I'd be starting around 10:30ish. Well, it's going to be like 12:30ish. It's going to be a midday, early afternoon start on the Sunday. Unless there's buses that run, like the City Link and so on. I'll have to check that. Megabus. I'll check that. Either way, it's not overly important. It's not a trail you're going to do in 1 or 2 days, or even a week. It's a 14-day trail anyhow, or thereabouts, a couple of weeks. So I just want to clarify that. Yeah, because it made me think Sunday, and because it is a Sunday, train fares are significantly more expensive. I could have bought it a couple of weeks ago at $38 for the original day I was going, which was a Saturday. Now, it being a Sunday and closer to the date, it's now $85 for the train from Cornwall to Kingston. Okay. Okay. Well, everything goes fine. We have a right turn blaze ahead. Yeah. I keep hearing a little bit of faint rumbling to the west in the distance. The chance of rain has increased a little bit. And as I say, we do need the rain, so hopefully we're carrying a rain jacket, a light rain jacket, but we do have one, which we usually have one. So also makes great protection against the bugs if it's needed, or as a windbreaker, or just a layer for warmth. Not that you need that today. Oh yeah, we're across the farm fields. Wow. Okay, let's just keep moving on. Well, even though it's not lunchtime yet, I am at the Ambrose overnight rest area. And I just felt like, you know what, I'm going to eat my fruit and yogurt here just because I wanted to. I've got Greek yogurt, plain, 0 fat. I've got cantaloupe, strawberry, and blueberries. The actual shelter. The fire pit. Oh, my coffee. Well, it's definitely trying to rain, and I still continuously hear the thunder. I looked at the radar, and it's got quite heavy rains and thunders are coming through all through this area, stopping at about noon, 12:30ish. That's fine. We desperately need the rain. We certainly do. Yeah, peaceful here. Okay, fruit and yogurt time. Rockland Creek Management Area Grey Sable Conservation. Okay, this is our turnaround, around 10.5 kilometers. We're going to do exactly the same, going back for an additional 10.5 kilometers, which of course will be a total of 21 kilometers for the day. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful backcountry gravel road. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh yeah. Okay, well, we are doing just fine. No problems, no issues, no worries. Some bugs, rumblings of thunder still, but it hasn't developed into anything as of yet. Other than, you know, less than spitting. Whatever comes less than spitting is what we've been having. Let's just check the time. Let's see, 10:43. So we started, so it's 3 hours. So 3 hours and 45 minutes to get to the halfway point. That includes break times and so on. So you know what? I don't know. Would be 10.25 hours of just steady hiking, maybe. No, what am I about? Three and a quarter hours of steady hiking. That's okay. That's not bad. Okay. Let's just start our way back. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One little thing I'd like to mention. Now, I am not at all trying to be political. I don't think politics, I don't think religion has anything to do with my hiking channel. However, one little thing. Yesterday, when I went to see my doctor, now my doctor, he's my eye doctor surgeon. He teaches surgery, eye surgery in the Toronto universities and other places. He's very, very successful, very well educated, wrote several papers. So this man is an extremely highly educated person. And yesterday, through conversation, as he was, working on me and my eyes and so on, he mentioned he'd just been away for 2 weeks. So I said, "Oh, did you go away?" He said, "No." He said, "I stayed home, or we stayed home, him and his wife. His wife had had knee surgery, so he was caring for her." And he said, "She likes to go away in the summer." He said, "But I really like to go away in the winter." I said, "Oh, where do you like to go?" He said, "Well, Arizona." He says, "But we'll never go back to the United States again." Oh, that was his comment. And just in that context of that conversation, again, very, very highly educated man, but due to, I guess the crumble of the relationship between the United States and Canada and the tariffs and maybe the 51st state idea and so on and so on and so on. He's one of the Canadian people that says, we're not going back. And I respect everyone's decisions and plans. And especially when it comes from a man so highly educated, that, again, it gives me kind of pause for thought. I'm patriotic. Now, I'm patriotic to the monarchy, and I'm patriotic to the United Kingdom. I'm patriotic to Canada. But I see all the time things on Facebook about don't buy American products. Okay? And there's a handyman that comes sometimes to our summer home. He put a new floor tiles in the bathroom. Because that's what Joanne wanted. And he said through conversation, again, not soliciting any conversation, but through conversation. He said, I won't buy the items from, just so you know, he said, I won't be buying your tiles from Home Depot. That's an American company, he said. I'll go to Home Hardware. And I thought, okay. Now, the Home Depot is in Owen Sound, Collingwood. Home Hardware we have right in Meaford, but also Owen Sound, Collingwood. Or Thornbury, Collingwood. Well, that's fine, either store. But I thought to myself after he'd said that, went inside, made my coffee, sat down, I thought, well, I realise Home Hardware is an American company, but it's not American citizens that are crossing the border every day to work there. You know, stock the shelves, man the cash registers and assist their customers. It's Canadians. And these people are working their jobs, you know, to purchase their groceries, make their car payments, pay their mortgages and rent, and, you know, go on their vacations and, well, in general, just live their lives. And I thought, okay, so if I penalise, or we penalise, say, American companies here in Ontario, are we not just hurting the Canadian workers that work there? Because again, it's not Americans crossing the border every day, not here. Maybe along border towns, that's quite possible, but not here. We'd be hurting Canadian people. So that's just one little thing. And secondly, on a fixed income, which I am as a pensioner, for instance, yesterday I shopped Walmart. Now, I know people have said things like, don't go to Walmart, it's American. Well, for years and years and years, I personally believe, companies like President's Choice, they've gouged the Canadian people to ratchet. They've been worse to us than the Americans are. So why should I start shopping just at Canadian stores and paying $5 for a box of blueberries when yesterday I paid 94 cents for US blueberries at Walmart? Fresh, wild blueberries. And again, on a fixed income, I think it's important. I buy California strawberries at $2.94 yesterday. Sometimes before that they were on at $1.94, compared to the Canadian Ontario strawberries at $5 a box. Now, that's a huge increase in my overall shopping bill. It's hard to tell what's actually affected by tariffs and what is not. Some stores, I suppose, have markers telling you, maybe some don't. I do notice the great value and our finest, which are product offered by Walmart, have increased in price significantly. But ultimately, they're still cheaper. And as a pensioner on CPP and old age security, as my sole sort of form of income, then it's usually important to watch my dollars closely. Anyhow, I'd like to know what you folks think. We don't need to bash anybody. It's not about is Trump good, bad, or whatever. You know, it's just about understanding. And because I don't know. I mean, I've just made my comments to you guys. I'd love for you to rebuttal, if you will. I'd love for you guys to comment back below. And just tell me what you think. Because I truly, truly don't know. Anyhow, enough of that. Again, we're not political. We're not a religious channel. But it's just something that seems to be affecting everybody's lives in Ontario, in Canada, in general. Well, it still keeps trying to rain. We just had probably the hardest rain we've had all day, and rumbling to the west, but it still really wasn't raining. Just not enough to even wet the ground. Yeah, so it tries, and we, as I said earlier, we need the rain. I'd say we desperately need the rain. The crops need the rain in the farm fields. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. Well, hopefully. I think tomorrow offers chances of rain too. So we'll see. We do need some. Okay, the hike itself, well, it goes well. It's around, approaching 1:45, I believe. I looked at my clock about 15 minutes ago. It was 1:30, so yeah, 1:45-ish. And we are doing fine. Got about, maybe 3 kilometers left to finish this particular 21-kilometer hop. Well, it's okay. When I get back into Meaford town, got a couple of stores to stop at. And my prescription for my eye drops to pick up. Got to do that today. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah. Still lots to do today. But it's really, really nice being out here. I mean, you have no idea. Well, you do. You're hikers too. But yeah, it's really, really nice to be out here.